The following audio recording has been designed for learning purposes only. Do not share, distribute, or provide any type of copies, or this audio lesson will not be made available to you. Good luck with today's lesson.
The words here are a little faded. I don't know why I just did it that way. But good article from the Washington Post. Alright, now talk about getting your audience's attention. This first sentence, they probably will get your attention. Talk about a provocative statement. Jake, you won't find this article online.
Yeah, you will.
No, you can't. Not anymore. Too old. So, let me ask you. How many people here think Alan Simpson, right? Alan Simpson, who's still alive, by the way. I saw him interviewed the other day. How many people think Alan Simpson should have been crucified? Should have been criticized for what he did? Raise your hand. No, I'm not going to tell anyone. Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, should have been, he got what it was coming to him. All right. Kind of? Okay. No? Okay. Connor, we'll start with you. Yeah. Why do you think?
I don't know. He didn't do anything necessarily wrong, but he should have. I bet he knew stuff was coming to him when he said that. So.
You should have kind of expected it in this day and age? Okay.
Yeah, nothing he did really was wrong.
If you can't say it on TV, you probably shouldn't say it in that way. Okay. Leah, you were pretty adamant. Why not?
I mean, it's 1992. It's not like no one says those words.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's any issue somebody higher up saying it as opposed to you and I saying it.
Okay. All right. Anyways, yeah.
I just think that all in all, this, because if you think about freedom of speech, so you can literally say anything, you can make any comparison or use any words you want, but I just think that people look for a problem, and people have become so sensitive that it's like we forget that we do have freedom of speech, and just because you don't agree with the way somebody worded something or what they said, like, you can still say what they want.
That's true. That's very true. No one's brought up that card. Yeah, this is freedom of speech. Now, this wasn't really a speech, right? This was like a public release, press release he sent out. Sometimes people say, well, his people, quote people, should really be in trouble because Alan Simpson probably didn't even write it. Someone on his staff probably sent it out, and they should be the ones who get in trouble, not him. Now, here's one thing, and plus they said when he originally sent it out, he didn't get in trouble. One other time he did it, the second time he did it, because he said in '92 he did it was okay. In 2010 he got in trouble. First time he didn't get in trouble. Second time he did get in trouble. You think we've gotten a little more? Somebody kind of alluded to it. You think we've gotten a little too, sensitive lately in like the last 15 years or so, 20 years? A little more like, oh my gosh, you can't say that. You can't say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe a little too much.
Social media booms more because even though it started years ago, when I was way younger, it's like now that there's so many social media outlets and literally everybody is connected on some form of social media, it's like everything is blown out of proportion because it's like something like this I wouldn't have none of us would give a damn about this, like him saying this, but you put this on Facebook with the right heading and word it correctly, and it'll make a feminist feel like, oh my God, I should feel some type of way about this. I should have an opinion on it. And then so their voice and their opinion. That's true. Yeah. It's just really something.
It's how you present it. That's right. Yeah. It's how you wrap it up, how you present it and everything. Changes everything. Now here's one thing you should know about Alan Simpson too. Alan Simpson, even the second time he did it, was an 80-year-old guy. 80, 82, 85-year-old guy, former U.S. Senator from the state of Wyoming, okay? And this guy was your classic cowboy kind of guy. He grew up on a ranch, lived on a ranch. He's back living on a ranch. Whenever you saw him, he was wearing his cowboy boots. He had that weird bolo tie. You ever see, Western guys with his 2 strings hanging down? That was his tie he always wore. He speaks with a cowboy Western twang to it. He was a cowboy kind of guy. Okay, grew up on a farm. Now, what do we say about jargon? Okay, so when he says teats, that's part of a cow. Grew up on a ranch. For him, it's no big deal. So for him, that's jargon. That's just jargon how he talks. Okay, plus, how many of you have? And I gotta be careful saying this now because my kids say I do this, have that older grandparent maybe, and you say, Grandpa, you can't say that, you can't talk like that. You can't say those words anymore. Yeah. I used to say it to my father, and now my kids are saying that to me all the time. Oh, Dad, you can't say that word. Oh, Dad, you can't talk like that anymore. It's changed. You can't use that expression. I'm like, what? We could when I was young. No, you can't say that anymore. I used to always tell my dad, in public, you can't say that. You can't say that. It's like we used to. Well, I can't anymore. So now maybe Alan Simpson's grandkids will say, you can't say that anymore. Okay. So another thing that's coming to play, the age. So age, occupation, jargon, all different. Okay. This is a good article because it shows that. It shows, I mean, yeah, you have to know a little bit about Alan Simpson. But yeah, things have changed too. PC and everything. It's really, it's different. Now, I don't pass this out to scare you, okay? But when you write a speech, yeah, you have to know the audience and everything like that. I still say, damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead and all that. Yeah, we did talk about, the other class, try to avoid sexist, that's a bad G, sexist language, stereotypical language, try to avoid that. But now we're going to talk about other things. Because, you have to pay attention to how you write a speech. Now, that's my background in writing a speech. I wish we could spend, I've taken classes just on the whole semester on writing it. We're just going to spend one class on writing a speech. Just one little class, okay? So, but how you write the speech is important, right? The words you pick. Obviously, the words you pick. Your audience is paying attention, okay? Well, one thing we didn't talk about, I don't even know if it's in your chapter. Is it okay to swear in a speech? What do you guys think? Now, you think it's okay to swear in a speech?
For sure.
For sure?
Well, it
In the right
depends on
context.
where you're doing it.
Depends. I mean, it depends on the context. When do you think it's okay to speech? When do you think it's okay to swear, Bella?
I think it's easier to answer when it's not okay. Which
When
means
it's not okay?
If you're doing it to a future employer, like if you're doing
Oh
it
yeah.
for,
Possible employers going to swear then.
or like
Group of
a-
nuns or something like that. It's probably not a good idea. Something like that.
in
School
certain
kids.
companies,
Certain companies, certain audiences. Yeah.
like
right.
younger audiences, if you're doing it to like an elementary school.
You definitely. Yeah. You get letters. Yeah, if you did that. What would be an audience that would be okay? What would be an audience that would be okay to swear in front of?
Swear.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the same page. I feel like if you're younger,
If you're younger?
kind of okay. It's better.
If you're younger?
Yeah, like at weddings or like.
Well, yeah, I went to the guy who took this class solely because he was giving the best man speech. And he wanted to know how to, I was so nervous. I basically told him, just don't drink. Don't drink before you give the speech, and don't say anything bad about the mother-in-law. That's it. So if you just do those two things, after you give the speech, you can drink whatever you want. But yeah, maybe if it's a younger crowd.
A college class.
A college class? No, not in this class. Actually, you shouldn't. If you swear, I mean, the best thing I can tell you is not your textbook doesn't really cover it. Another one I used in the past, it had an example, and it had a guy who said, I swear all the time in speech is okay, and he was giving a speech in front of an audience of potential clients, potential customers. And he goes, I know all these people in this audience, they're friends of mine, I can swear if I want. And he swore throughout the speech. And this other guy who wrote the story knows there was an older gentleman in the back who kept kind of like wincing every time he swore, like it physically hurt. And he lost the sale, and it turns out the old guy in the back was the owner of the company. So you never know. So if you could, I would always err on the side of caution. I wouldn't swear. Now, having said that, in a future class, we're going to watch a speech where I sometimes find the one where there's a lot of beep, 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 where they beep out the swearing. Sometimes I'm not so lucky, and there's a lot of swearing in it. The audience of football players, professional football players. Is it okay to swear in front of the professional football players? I'd say yeah, maybe to motivate them, okay, to get them in gear, okay. So yeah, I'd say it depends on the audience. Yeah, one guy, you guys did your manuscript speeches years ago, where you read the speech. Same guy did one on General George Patton, I don't know if you ever heard of World War II, giving a speech to soldiers. He swore a lot. I didn't know that. Okay, so the guy read that speech, motivating soldiers. So he swore a lot. Okay, so good to know about swearing. Okay, so using words accurately. We're going to talk about how to use words accurately, how to pick the right word. The story goes that the famous writer Oscar Wilde said, I spent the entire morning putting a comma in my story, and I spent the entire afternoon taking it out. That's how you have to be so precise. I worked at an ad agency for a while, and you have to spend, just one word in an ad can make a difference, okay? So we're going to kind of focus on that, okay? Using them accurately. Let's see, got rid of this down. Denotation. Does anyone know what the denotation of a word is? Anyone take a guess what denotation of a word is?
Isn't that like breaking it down?
It is in a way, yeah. Bringing down the definition of a word, kind of like examining it. It's bringing it down like we'll say dictionary meaning. Narrowing it down. Okay? Narrowing it down to the dictionary meaning, okay? So there's really no argument. This is what I mean. So when you're giving a speech, you're saying, okay, this is what the word means. I'm not going any further. This is what it means. But let's face it, anyone here has ever learned English, maybe English is a second language. You know English is a hard language to learn because there's so many meanings. What's the word I'm trying to remember? Homonyms, all right? So many meanings to a word. That's not the right meaning of it. But if you look at the dictionary, some words have so many meanings to it, all right? So even going by the dictionary meaning of a word is confusing, okay? So if a word's got several meanings to it, you still have to explain it to the audience, all right? But dictionary meaning, you're not fooling around. This is exactly what I mean, nothing more, nothing less. Denotation of a word. Okay, so that's denotation. So if that's denotation, what's connotation? What is connotation? We're going to focus a little more on that. This is the emotional meaning of a word, okay? The emotional meaning. You're not going to find this in a dictionary. The emotional meaning of a word, right? This is important. This is what you're going to be focusing on when you give a speech. Because this is how you play around with an audience. And everything I'm telling you today, you got to question if it's ethical or not. Is it right or not? Is it right or wrong? Should you do this or not? It's up to you, all right? What we're going to cover today, I'm not going to say it's altogether ethical, but it's up to you, okay? People do this all the time. Connotation, the emotional meaning, all right? Some words just have so much emotion behind it, all right? Like the word patriotic, okay? Some people hear the word patriotic, they think of 4th of July parades and hot dogs and flags and bands. Some people hear patriotic, they think of, going off to wars and fighting foreign wars and stuff like that. Two entirely different things, all right? So when we said that there's a chance your audience might have a different meaning, all right, thinking about something different than what you mean, you have to explain it, all right? So connotation, the emotional meaning. Let's look at that a little bit more, okay? Let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, do a couple examples. Skinny, the word skinny, all right? We all have an image of something skinny, but the word skinny doesn't have a great word, not a nice word. If someone calls you skinny, I wasn't called very skinny very often, okay? But skinny, okay? It's not a nice thing. Something like, when your grandma sees you, you're so skinny, you gotta eat a lot. Not a nice word, okay? Skinny, okay? There's skinny, there's thin. Thin might be a little bit better than skinny, okay? Whereas when I hear thin, I think of Thin Mints, which is probably why I think you're skinny too often, okay? But skinny, thin, yeah, okay. It's like that. A little bit better. If you're called thin, that's okay. Better than skinny. Slender. That sounds even better. All right. If you were watching TV, Marie Osmond or whoever it is, those Nutrisystem things, she doesn't come out, hey, do you want to look skinny? That doesn't sound so nice. Okay. Do you want to look slender? Okay. Sounds a little bit nicer. Okay. Now here's the thing. Look at the dictionary, all three of these would mean pretty much the same thing, okay? They all have pretty much the same denotation, but it's how you present it, all right? If you use skinny, people are going to think, I'm not sure I want to be skinny. You want to be slender? Oh, hell yeah, I want to be slender. Yeah, okay? Let's do another one. Let's see. Rally. Okay, a rally. I think I think of good things. The pep rally, okay? Everybody rah, rah, rah for the home team. You got balloons, you got banners, you got bands, everything's going on. It's a happy thing, a rally. You get out of math class, okay? It's a great thing, a rally. Everyone's rooting for the team. It's a positive thing, a rally, okay? And then you got a gathering. That's a little better, all right? Gathering. Maybe sounds a little creepy to me, but gathering, still, it's not as nice as rally, not as positive, but a gathering of people, okay? You don't know what they're up to, but a gathering. And then you got a mob. Whoa, okay, a mob. Someone's going to be in trouble, okay? You got pitchforks, you got flames, you got, someone's in trouble, okay? Someone's going to be rode out of town. But rally, gathering, mob, those in the dictionary, they all pretty much have the same meaning, all right? But if you give a speech and you say, we're going to the rally, that's a positive thing. All right, there's one meaning. We're going to the mob, we're all going to form a mob. Entirely different meaning. Okay? Last one. Strategy. Good. Strategy. I hear strategy, I think good things, right? If I've got a problem and I go see someone, they say, well, we've got a strategy. We've got our best minds working on this. We got a strategy. Wow, I'm relieved. I'm happy. A strategy? Okay, my problem's going to be solved because they got a strategy in mind. That's great. That's a very positive thing. A plan? That's good. I'm happy. A plan is good too. Not as good as a strategy in my mind, but it's close. All right, plan is good. Strategy. But even a plan, it's better than a scheme. A scheme? Oh, no. All right? Some political ad you watch. Listen to it. You'll hear someone say, we have a strategy. Our opponent, they've got a scheme. He's a schemer. All right? Houston's a schemer. What does that mean? He's got a plan. He's a strategizer. Okay? That's not a bad thing. He's a schemer. I'm a strategizer. We're the same. All right? The same thing. All right? But schemer doesn't sound as nice as a strategizer, as a planner. But they're all the same. Is it ethical in your speech to do that? Sure. Okay? I mean, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do. Is the end justify the means? You have to ask yourself. But that's how you use connotation, because you have to recognize the words have meaning. How does your audience see it? Okay? And you're simply taking advantage of how the words work. Okay? So that's so important to know. So important to know. Because obviously there's emotional meanings to every word you use. Every word you use. When you have a conversation with friends, you know that almost becomes you don't even have to think about it. Abstract versus concrete. Well, we want to do this. All right, you want to remember this. Abstract word. You definitely want to stay away from abstract words. We're going to have a handout for you guys to see. Abstract words. What are abstract words? Mercy, home, love. Well, love, I don't want to say love means nothing now, right? Sounds awful, but love means nothing. It's so, I love my wife, but I love pizza too, all right? My wife keeps the door with the pizza right now. I really love her, okay? But think about love. Back when you were that big in third grade, you'd say, I love ice cream, and some smart aleck would say, why don't you marry it? Okay? They weren't far from the truth. We use love all the time. I love this, oh, I love this song. If you say, I love this song, and they say, I love you to someone else, right? It's a big deal. Okay, you love that song too. I love. So love, that's gotten so abstract, right? Use it for everything. Okay? So when you give a speech, you say, well, I love this. Well, okay. Compared to what? Okay? So some words have gotten so abstract, you use it so much, it means nothing when you say it. You want to be more precise. You want to be concrete. All right? You want us to make sure there's absolutely no way we can mistake what you're talking about. So, an example. If I say, I am so hungry right now, I can go for some food right now. Well, okay, that's pretty abstract. If I say, man, I can go for some food, and Cole says, well, here's a bowl of oatmeal. I'm like, wow, I've never been that hungry in my life, okay, for oatmeal, all right? But if I say, man, I'm so hungry, I could go for a slice of Buddy's pizza right now. Just hot out of the oven, the crust just kind of burnt like that, the cheese just bubbling out of the oven, the salt, the pepperoni just burnt around the edges, cold frosty mug of beer, the mug just some ice around there, I get some foam on there like that, and I get really descriptive, okay, and the audience is practically, salivating, just drooling. If I get that precise, man, I've nailed it. Okay, you want to be that precise. Okay, so that's what you're aiming for. Precise. Yeah, we'll do it now. Not as many handouts as last class, but still a lot. Okay, this one's got two sides on it because I want you to do both sides eventually. Okay, there's the side that says variation. How often is often? That's the side I want you guys to do. Don't Pages is variation of how often. Okay, so just do 2 through 7 on the side. Variation of how often is often. I'll do that too. And no right or wrong answer. No right or wrong answer. Just whatever you think. Whatever you think. Okay, so let us see what we put down here. Okay, how many are a few? Did anyone put down, I'm going to assume no one put down 1. Did anyone put down 2? Okay, how many people put down 3? Okay, 4. Okay, 5. More than 5. Okay, that's about right. All right, several. Did anyone put down 2 for several? 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, more than 7. All right, what'd you put down?
I put 7 or more.
7 or more?
What's
10? Okay. All right, cool. All right, many. This is where people go off the rails. Okay. Many. Did anyone put down 5 or fewer for many? No? Okay, 6. All right. What'd you put, Brendan?
I put 6.
6 exactly. Okay, 7. All right, what'd you put, Rick?
7.
That's the same for me. Okay, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's see, 10 to 15. Okay, what'd you put down?
I put 10 to 15.
10 to 15? What'd you put?
12.
12? Okay.
I just did 15.
50, exactly, okay. But 15, okay, how about 15 to 20? More than 20? Okay. All right, a lot. This is all over the place. All right, we'll say fewer than 10. Anyone put fewer than 10 for a lot? All right, 10 to 15. Okay. 15 to 20. All right, what'd you put? 20. All right. 28 to 25. 25 to 30. 30 to 40. 40 to 50. Okay. 50 to 75. 75 and up. Okay. No? Okay. But I hope you can see how this is nuts. I mean, if I said I have a lot of cars at home, and to me a lot is like 2 or 3, all right, or 4, something like that. Someone else is like 20. I'm like, wow, that guy's rich. Well, 4 and they're all clunkers or something like that. It changes things. You've got to be precise. Okay. So, which one occurs the least? How many people put seldom? No one put seldom? Okay. Rarely. that was the right answer too. Okay. Hardly ever. There's no right answer. No one put hardly ever. Almost never. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, which one occurs the most? Usually. Okay. Frequently. Okay. And often. Okay. All right. Now, if someone tells you that a store is not far away, what is the most amount of time it should take you to get there? Did anyone put 5 minutes or less? All right. Would you put 5 minutes? Bill, what'd you put? 5 minutes? 5 minutes or less? Okay. Did anyone put down 5 to 10 minutes? Okay. Did anyone put 10 to 15 minutes? Anyone put more than 15 minutes? 15 max? I once had a woman put down an hour. Okay. Now you might think an hour, oh my God, it's far. But here's the thing, she was from the Upper Peninsula. All right. So for her, an hour, like, well, she was thinking of a store, and in store, she was thinking of like a Target, all right, something like that, a bigger store. So for her to get to a store was like, it took like about an hour, okay, for a bigger store. So it's all context. It's all, what are you thinking, okay? So if I heard an hour, I think, my God, what store are you going to, all right? Okay, your friend tells you he needs to buy a cheap car. How much do you estimate he wants to spend? Do you want to put down 500? I have to start with 500, but everyone tells me you can't even get tires for 500. But okay, 500. Then we put down 1,000. No, 1,250. 1,500. What's that?
Cars don't cost that much.
Well, I mean 1,000. I mean $1,250. I mean.
No, $3,000 is our starting price.
Really? I put 1,500. What'd you put?
15 and 3.
15. Okay, then we put down 2,000. All right, 2,500.
I just like
3,000. All right, 3,000. All right, 4,000. 5,000. Wow, 6. All right, 6 to 10. Say 10. All right, wow. Well, I did have one guy. This was several years ago. All right, so to you guys it might not be a big deal. He put down, I think, either 25 or 30,000. 25, 30,000. Now, because if you read this, now we're probably all thinking used car, right? But if you read it, your friend tells you he needs to buy a cheap car. How much do you estimate he wants to spend? This guy explained. He said he'll never buy another used car again because all he ever had was trouble with ever buy a used car. So immediately he said, "I'm buying a new car. I'm not buying a used car." So for him, 25,000, I think it was, or 30,000, was about the least he'd spend for a new car. That would be a cheap new car.
It's a Kia.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's a Kia Rio.
Yeah. So he said, it'd be buy a cheap new car, but he wasn't even entertaining the idea of getting a used car. He said, no, never even think about it. So, but I hope by looking at this, you see, you've got to be precise. You have to. Otherwise, your audience is always going to be thinking, where is she going with this? Where is she going? Because you've got. So if you're up here saying, well, we've got a lot of stuff to talk, and this and other stuff, audience doesn't know what you're talking about. You've got to be precise. Okay. Now, there's some forms of writing we want to talk about. Did I spell this right? Yeah. Similes, metaphors, which we talked about in another class, but yes, last handout. But this is a funny one. These are from students, real students. Similes and metaphors. Similes, you're comparing two things that typically don't go together, using the words like or as in there. Raining like cats or dogs. Don't use that one. That's it. These are much funnier. These are much better. Okay? In metaphor, you simply aren't having the word like or as. It's raining cats and dogs. The roads were ice. Okay? Now, what purpose does a simile or metaphor do? It holds your audience's attention. Again, no one's going to give you a standing ovation for a great simile or metaphor. Is it going to really convince your audience? No. But again, we've said so many times, a good metaphor or simile is going to hold your audience's attention, and sometimes that's the most difficult thing. Yeah, these are all supposed to be funny. Which one's got your question?
This is just interesting. Oh.
So we just write for each one if it's a simile.
No, this is just for fun. This is not an exercise. No, this is just for I mean, my favorite is 10. Brian told 12 stories on the pavement like a hefty bag filled with vegetable soup. You know what that looks like. If this guy fell from a 12-story floor, imagine what a gallon of hefty bag full of vegetable soup would do if it hit the ground. Not very pretty. That's what it looked like. What were you going to ask?
No, you know who's like an expert in simile and metaphors?
Who's that?
Freaking Lil Wayne.
I know Lil Wayne.
You think
I'd
about
have to
it.
take
he's
your word
like-
for it.
Yeah, and he doesn't write anything down.
I wouldn't suggest using
I'll
any
note
of his.
that
But, I'm trying to see, John and Mary never met. They were like two hummingbirds who had also never met. The plan was simple, like my brother-in-law Phil, but unlike Phil, this plan might work. It was an American tradition, like fathers chasing kids around with power tools. Good examples of similes and metaphors, okay? But this is a good example. Again, am I going to be listening to your speech for similes and metaphors? Yeah, I'm going to be listening to your speeches for similes and metaphors, okay? Word style, that's what I'll be looking for. I think it's on your rubric. I'm not going to turn it in. Word style, listening for speeches, listening to them for metaphors and similes. It just makes your speech better, okay? But there are other things, all right? There are other things which we haven't talked about, all right? Euphemisms. What's a euphemism? Euphemisms. You use these all the time. Euphemisms, okay? How do we explain that? How do I have that?
Nine is my favorite.
Let's see. Big language to replace harsh language. All right, a euphemism. All right? Vague. You speak vaguely. All right? You talk in a way that maybe the audience won't understand what you're saying. Why? Because you want to replace harsh language. All right? Maybe not so they don't understand, but use terms that they don't, to make it gently. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples. For example, instead of saying he died, what do we say? He passed away. All right? Trailer park, mobile home community. What do we say? What do we say? It's even better than this. Let's see. I've got it here, but I remember watching television one time and made a big deal on this one network. And it was like, I swear that music playing, go, an encore television broadcast. An encore television broadcast. What's an encore television broadcast? It's just a rerun. It's just a rerun. All right? But it's an encore television broadcast. Big deal. What can they charge a used car? They charge like $1,000 more because they don't call it a used car. What do they call it? Certified pre-owned. Wow. I'm not getting a used car. I'm getting a certified pre-owned vehicle. Okay? It's a used car. Okay? Instead of recession, negative economic growth. I know a better one than here. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Instead of, put to sleep instead of euthanize. Put to sleep. Okay? It sounds so much nicer.
Does it?
Well, maybe now we use put to sleep now. It sounds, we know what it means.
Euthanization means?
Yeah.
Do you know Canada just legalized euthanization for parents with kids with disabilities?
Euthanizing the parent?
No,
Yeah.
like it's saying like if you get a kid that's has a disability,
Yeah, well,
But
you
it's
can
still
kill it.
like, yeah, I guess the parents get the DNR. But
Really?
I
Wow.
mean, in Oregon you can do it. Like if you're just even like if you just don't want to live anymore. You
Yeah,
just go to Oregon and
it's changing
just-
world. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying. Letting someone go. What does letting someone go mean? Firing them. Yeah, but it sounds nicer. Let's see. Ethnic cleansing instead of genocide. I don't know where I got these from. Let's see. Person of interest instead of a criminal suspect. Downsize instead of firing people. I mean, you get the idea, okay? You get the idea. You don't want it. You want to use nicer language, all right? Dressing it up, making it sound nicer because you don't want to be harsh, okay? Is that ethical? as long as your audience knows what you're saying, okay? Now, I once worked at a hospital system where the president asked me to write a speech where she was going to announce major layoffs. And she said, try to make it sound nice. Well, how do you do that? How do you tell people, a lot of you, a third of you are going to be let go, all right? But try to make it sound nice. Well, the rest of you are going to have good parking spots, okay? I don't know what you do, okay? Shorter lines in the cafeteria. Well, vague language. You use euphemisms. So make it nicer, okay? Or you can use double speak. All right? Double speak. What's the difference? Well, euphemisms, you're trying to be more gentle, but you kind of figure the audience knows what you're talking about, okay? The audience knows what you're talking about. Here, meant to confuse. All right, there's more meaning here. Is this unethical? Yeah, probably, okay? All right? Whereas euphemism, there's a good chance, probable chance, that your audience knows what you're actually saying, what you're referring to. Doublespeak, you're trying to confuse the audience. Chances are they don't know what you're talking about, okay? A reader reports that when the patient died, the attending doctor recorded the following on the patient's chart. Patient failed to fulfill his wellness potential. All right? So instead of the patient saying patient died, they put down patient failed to fulfill his wellness potential. That's double speak. Okay. Let's see. Okay, tell me if you know what this is. A reader reports that the Army calls them a vertically deployed anti-personnel device. Can anyone tell me what a vertically deployed anti-personnel device is? Okay. It's a bomb. It's a bomb. So they drop bombs. Okay, a spokesperson for the Massachusetts Department of Public Works calls them ground-mounted confirmatory route markers. Let me tell you what a ground-mounted confirmatory route marker is. Ground-mounted confirmatory route marker.
Oh, is it a sign?
It's a road sign, just a road sign. But a ground-mounted confirmatory route marker. See, I see a lot of doublespeak when people turn in papers, all right? So they want to make it nice and long, all right? According to the FAA, a propeller blade didn't break off a helicopter. It was uncontained blade liberation. All right? The blade didn't fall off. It was uncontained blade liberation. And when a bull rider fell off a bull, it was aggravated bovine ejection. Okay, aggravated bovine ejection. All right. So doublespeak, is that unethical? Yeah, that pretty much is. That pretty much is. Okay. So you want to stay away from that. You want to stay away from that. Now, I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to show you a very short speech that uses a lot of euphemisms, and that no less a person than President Obama said this is probably the greatest political speech ever given. By the way, I forgot when I was looking up stuff. President Obama's original speechwriter, he quit 2 years into his office to become a professional comedian. So I don't know if that means.
Obama's speeches were always on point, though.
Well, yeah, and that guy became a comedian. So what does that tell you? I mean, writing his speeches and then he became a comedian. Okay. This is called the whiskey speech. Now, like I said, not just Obama, but other people have said this is one of the greatest political speeches ever given. Okay? Listen to the words this guy uses. Now, this isn't the original speaker. Okay? This is someone else. Does anyone know what a dry state is? A dry state or dry county?
Like Arizona.
No alcohol. No alcohol is sold. No alcohol is supposed to be drank. You can't sell it. You can't do anything. All right. There's still some counties in western Michigan, I believe, that are still dry. Okay. It used to be a lot more. You cannot sell alcohol. Just can't. All right. There used to be. Now, this speech was from the 50s. The entire state of Mississippi was dry. Okay. You couldn't buy alcohol or sell alcohol. Now, this speech was given by a guy whose name was Soggy Sweat. That was his nickname, was Soggy. His last name was really Sweat. Noah Sweat. So if you ever think you don't like your name, this guy was Soggy Sweat, okay? he was a politician, a state representative. Right? It was very controversial in Mississippi if they should be dry or not. It's a wonderfully written speech, okay? Like I said, Obama and other politicians have said this is the greatest speech of all time in politics. Very short, beautifully written, lots of euphemisms. Just, in the end, you'll see, it doesn't say a whole lot.
I sound like an ad. Can you hear me?
This is not
Can you
really
hear me
him.
now?
This is someone saying it.
To truly appreciate this classic 315 words, you must remember it was written over 50 years ago when the sale of whiskey was illegal in Mississippi. We sold it, we drank it, we taxed it. We even elected a statewide public official to collect the tax. People staggered to the polls to vote dry was the common saying. It was the most controversial of all subjects to ask a candidate for public office, especially a candidate for the legislature. This speech was written and delivered by N.S. Soggy Sweat while he was a member of the Mississippi House of Representatives from Alcorn County. My friends, I had not intended to discuss this controversial subject at this particular time. However, I want you to know that I do not shun controversy. On the contrary, I will take a stand on any issue at any time, regardless of how fraught with controversy it might be. You have asked me how I feel about whiskey. All right, this is how I feel about whiskey. If, when you say whiskey, you mean the devil's brew, the poison scourge, the bloody monster that defiles innocence, dethrones reason, destroys a home, creates misery and poverty, yea, literally takes the bread from the mouths of little children. If you mean the evil drink that topples a Christian man and woman from the pinnacles of righteous, gracious living into the bottomless pit of degradation and despair and shame and helplessness and hopelessness, then certainly I am against it. But if when you say whiskey, you mean the oil of conversation, the philosophic wine, the ale that puts a song in their hearts and laughter on their lips and a world glow of contentment in their eyes, if you mean Christmas cheer, if you mean the stimulating drink that puts a skip into the old gentleman's step on a frosty Christmas morning, if you mean the drink when it enables a man to magnify his joy and his happiness and to forget, if only for a little while, life's great tragedies and heartaches and sorrows, if you mean the drink, the sale of which pours into our treasury untold millions of dollars which are used to provide tender care for our little crippled children, our blind, our deaf, our pitifully aged and infirm, to build highways, hospitals, and schools, then certainly I am for it. This is my stand. I will not retreat from it. I will not compromise.
Okay. So what does he say? He says absolutely nothing.
Yeah, wait,
He says he's for it, he's against it, if you mean this or this. But it's a beautifully written speech. And like Obama said, he referred to it as the perfect political speech. It's genius, yeah, he says nothing. So, but he said, Obama, when I read it, was the best political speech ever given.
He agreed with both sides.
Yeah, he agreed with both sides. So, but it's a beautifully written speech. It's a beautifully written speech. Great use of similes, of metaphors and such. Very great, vivid imagery, okay? Now, did I get rid of all slides? No, I don't want that. Okay, so now we're going to look at, oh, no, this is what I want. Okay, so now we're going to look at some of these terms. Okay, well, we'll start off with simile. Okay, these are from some movies. Okay, some use of similes here. Okay, you've probably all seen this movie.
I've had some long nights in despair. Alone in the dark with nothing but your thoughts, time can draw out like a blade. That was the longest night of my life.
Okay. Shawshank Redemption. Everyone's seen that. So he's saying time can draw out like a blade. The longest night of my life. He's saying time can draw out like a blade. Which I never really understood that one, because if I was pulling out a knife, I'd probably pull out as fast as I could, because I'm assuming the other guy is too. But he's saying pull out slow. So it goes out really slowly. Let's see. Okay. In a war. All right, World War. What is Switzerland? What is the country Switzerland? Yeah.
Like neutral?
It's always neutral. Doesn't take a side. Not this way, not this way. So here's from Seinfeld.
Take lights aboard, Jerry. We've been playing at Newman's for 6 hours, but he's got to go. So why don't you leave it at Newman's?
I wanted to. He won't let me.
We have to put the board in a neutral place where no one will tamper with it. So that's here. Yes, you're like Switzerland. I don't want to be Switzerland.
Okay, Switzerland. So I think you're like Switzerland. Let's see. Okay, at the end you can tell me what movie this is from. This is a great simile. A little long, all right, but beautifully written.
It is a curious thing, the death of a loved one.
Uncle Monty?
It's like walking up the stairs to your bedroom in the dark and thinking that there's one more stair than there is. Your foot falls down through the air and there's a sickly moment of dark surprise.
Okay. Do we know what movie that's from?
Harry Potter.
I was thinking that too.
Series of unfortunate events.
They made a movie?
Yeah, long time ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
No, I never read the books.
Yeah, a long time ago. So yeah, but that's a great use of simile. Okay, great use of simile. The death of a loved one is like or as, that word is in there. Okay, if you're the creative type, you're probably gonna steer yourself toward using similes or metaphors. Again, it's great. It holds the audience's attention, and that's really one thing that you really want to do. There's simile metaphors. Let's look at some metaphors. Okay, this is from Apocalypse Now.
Are you an assassin? I'm a soldier. You're neither. You're an errand boy. Sent by grocery trucks. To collect the bill.
He was a soldier and he was an assassin.
What did he say?
He said you're an errand boy sent from a grocery store to collect the bill. But he was an assassin. He was an assassin. Okay? Now here's one from an actual speech. Mario Cuomo. And let's hear it here.
Why, this country is a shining city on a hill.
And that's all it is, okay? That was from the 84 Democratic Convention. He's referring to the United States as a city shining on a hill. That's from the Bible. He's saying, all right, the United States is this great country. It's this great city shining on a hill. All other countries want to be like the United States. We're all looking at the United States, shining on a hill, okay? Looking up to us, okay? Here's a famous one, Martin Luther King's, okay? He's got two. We got a twofer here, okay?
With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Okay, so there we go. Jangling discords of our nation. Okay, beautiful symphony of brotherhood. So he's comparing that again. No simile because there's no like or as. So metaphor, you take that out. But he's comparing the country to a jangling discords of our nation, beautiful symphony. So he's alluding to he's using a musical metaphor, orchestra metaphor. Okay. Here we go. Here's one from Al Gore. Wow.
At the dawn of spring last year, a single act of terror brought forth the long, cold winter in our hearts. The people of Oklahoma City are mourning still.
Long, cold winter in our hearts. Okay, that's up for now. Okay, so now let's look at a couple we haven't talked about. One in particular that's very effective, all right, one that I've used a lot and that audiences like, and they do pay attention to, and they do notice. Anybody know what alliteration is? Anyone know what alliteration is? Bella?
It's when, like, you start two words in an extra sentence in the same letter.
Yeah, same sound. I was going to say consonant, but it doesn't have to be consonant. Use the same sound, beginning of a sentence or beginning of words over and over again. You know, it could be two, could be three. In this example here, Obama does want to use several. Okay, let's see. Okay, well here we'll start off with Obama's here. He's got quite a few.
This generation of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have volunteered in the time of certain danger. They are part of the finest fighting force that the world has ever known. They have served tour after tour of duty in distant, different, and difficult places. They are men and women, white, black, and brown, of all faiths and all stations. All Americans, serving together to protect our people, while giving others half a world away the chance to lead a better life. In today's wars, there's not always a simple ceremony that signals our troops' success. No surrender papers to be signed or capital to be claimed.
Trust me, whoever wrote that speech did that by design. It did like, oh wow, look at that. I didn't mean to do that. He or she meant to do that. All right, they meant to do that. Okay, you've got that many s sounds in a row. You mean to do that. And if you notice, it didn't have to be the S sound. Okay, he had S. But then you got the word ceremony. And that just sounds like it. Okay. Let's see. We'll have one from Bill Clinton here.
Somewhere at this very moment, a child is being born in America. Let it be our cause to give that child a happy home, a healthy family, and a hopeful future.
Okay. And let's go with the Republican side.
Our nation itself is testimony to the love our veterans have had for it and for us. Our liberties, our values, all for which America stands, is safe today because brave men and women have been ready to face the fire at freedom's front, and we thank God for them.
Now you can go overboard. You can go overboard.
Step forward, man. You dare to come to me for a heart, do you? You clinking, clanking, clattering collection of collisioners and junk. And you, scarecrow, have the effrontery to ask for a brain. You billowing bale of bogey fodder.
What movie is that from? All right, good. I'm glad some of you woke up a little bit for that. When you have to make up words, I mean, collisionist, I'm sure that's a word, I don't know what it means, but if you have to use words like that to make it go, you're probably pushing it.
I feel like they probably meant to do that in Wizard of Oz, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, no, I know they meant to. Oh, I know they meant to, but collisionist, I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. I'm sure the wizard knew what it meant. The last one I want you to know is something called personification. Personification. I mean, look at all these different devices. Trust me, we had to cover all these before, but personification, where you give inanimate objects like rocks and trees, you give them human qualities. Okay, you give them human qualities. Very popular. Okay, very used. Yeah, do it. Oh, you're just stretching. Oh, be careful. Don't do that here or at an auction. Okay. This is an example. Okay, that hopefully will show you what I mean.
Once again, the heart of America is heavy. The spirit of America weeps for a tragedy that denies the very meaning of our land.
That was Lyndon Johnson, president. So, I mean, America doesn't really have a heart. We don't really have a spirit. He's saying, yeah, America does have a heart, all right, and it's heavy, and it does have a spirit, and it's weeping, okay. So he's giving it inanimate object human qualities, okay. Let's look at another one. Here's one, baseball player, all right, Bruce Sutter, and being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's saying time is father time. You've probably heard what father time. He's saying the passing of time is an actual object, an actual person, okay. So.
To the fans in Chicago, St. Louis, and Atlanta, I want to say thank you for your support.
Your chanting of bruise as I entered the game always gave me chills. I wish I could come out there and get that feeling again, but Father Time has caught up with me. First he took my arm, then he took my hair, then he took the color from my beard. But he cannot take the great friendships and memories I had from being a baseball player.
Okay, so good use of personification. I don't know if there's one more or not. Yeah. Oh, last one. Bobby Jindal, former governor of Louisiana. It's really short.
Today we begin a new chapter in the history of Louisiana. I said throughout the campaign that there are two entities that have the most to fear from us winning this election. One is corruption, and the other is incompetence. If you happen to see either of them, let them know the party is over.
Okay. You're not going to be walking down the street and see incompetence and corruption, okay? They're inanimate things, they're concepts. He's telling me, if you see him, tell him to hit the road, okay? So you understand how personification works? Cool. I'm going to be looking for it in your speeches, your last two speeches. Okay, so understand how rhetoric works and how these styles work, writing styles, okay? Be precise. Don't be abstract. You don't want your audience scratching their heads. All right, we're going to be talking about that in the next class next week, about critical thinking skills. This all ties into critical thinking. You don't want to confuse your audience. That's the importance of being precise and not abstract. Make it easy for your audience, always. They have to be on the same page as you. Connotation. Words have meaning. All words have meaning. Make that work for you. It's a tool. It's the most important tool, greatest tool you're going to have. Okay? All right, I'll see you on Thursday.
Good luck with today's lesson.